I used my credit card points to get an Apple Watch. Why did I do this? I was curious about the health data it collects and how it could help me. Today, I'm going to share with you what I found in the first 2 weeks of wearing an Apple Watch. First, let me share with you my wearables journey so far. Back in 2016, it was about 1.5 years since I had given birth to my second child. I was talking to my OBGYN and he suggested that I watch my weight to avoid depression. So he told me, go get a Fitbit. And I love my OBGYN, best doctor I've ever had. So I listened to him. I went and I got a Fitbit immediately. It gave me a baseline number to track my activity. It made me move a little more, add more steps in my day. I remember I would put the kids to bed at night and then I would try to walk a few hundred extra steps in their room while they were falling asleep. In 2021 is when I really stepped up my fitness game. Daily walking became a non-negotiable for me and I began lifting heavy weights. Before I go on, let me do this Fitbit disclaimer. I know Fitbit steps and heart rate and calories burned and all that. I know that's not accurate, okay? And in most devices, there are issues with accuracy. I know that. Regardless of that, it gave me a great baseline. I could see where I am and how my steps are going up and down based on the activity that I'm putting in. And I obsessively check my Fitbit. I'm always looking at it for what is the date? What is the time? What are the number of steps I'm at in the day? I know exactly how many steps per minute I get, how many houses I have to walk by to get the number of steps that I want. I like the predictability and thus the level of control I have when I'm watching my steps. This is how I use my Fitbit. Now, there are other things that it tells that I also use, but the main thing is with my steps. When I talk to other Apple Watch users about how they use their watch, they tend to say that they like how the Apple Watch shows their text messages and their various notifications. That wasn't appealing to me because I can get text notifications on my Fitbit. It's not as pretty, it doesn't show everything and I can't reply, but I get those pings and that's awesome. You can also play podcasts and music on the Apple Watch, which is nice. There were all these little conveniences, but it didn't justify the price of the Apple Watch to me. It is insanely expensive. At the Apple Watch store, the salesperson I talked to and even another shopper nearby, they were saying, just buy it, don't think about it, you're gonna love it, it's gonna do so many things for you. I know they meant what they said, they like their Apple Watch, but for how I think, what I need, my habits, that just didn't work for me. Now what did appeal to me was the health data. I keep meticulous spreadsheets and notes on a lot of things that I'm doing. I track how much I've exercised, how heavy I'm lifting, my macros, what hours I'm fasting. So I was curious about how the watch can help me in any of these areas. This may surprise you and you may think I'm crazy, but when I got the Apple Watch, I left my Fitbit on and I put the Apple Watch on the other hand. I always wore my Fitbit on my left hand, so I put the Apple Watch on my right hand. And then I did that for a week, and the next week I switched hands. Here is what I found. The first week, the Apple Watch on my right hand got me 650 more steps per day. And I don't think that's because the Apple Watch adds more steps. It's probably because I am right-handed and do more with my right hand, which is funny because when I'm walking, I purposely move my left hand like this, and I barely move my right hand because I don't want to miss out on steps. I won't even hold the dog leash in my left hand because I don't want it to not count my steps. So the next week I switched hands and the Fitbit on my right hand counted 500 more steps a day than the Apple Watch on my left hand. The difference between the step count when they're on the same hand is negligible. What I immediately noticed in wearing these watches is that the Apple Watch in no way, shape, or form is a replacement for the Fitbit, at least in my use case with really wanting to see my steps all day long. I cannot look at my Apple Watch and see my steps. If I want to see my steps, I have to open the Apple Health app and scroll and dig through to find my steps. It doesn't show up on my watch at all. At least that I found. So I can't say, oh, what are my steps and see them on my Apple Watch face. Not an option. I can't even click through my watch and find my steps. Unless I'm dumb and I haven't found it yet. Doesn't appear to be an option. Now there is an app you can download that allows you to change the face so that it does show the steps. But in the reviews, I saw the steps don't even update unless you open the app on your phone, which is not helpful to me. I also found an app you can download and it formats your health data. It pulls your health data in a way in a dashboard that's easy to see where you don't have to dig around to find stuff. I really like that. The app used to be available with a one-time fee, which would have been fine for me, but it changed to an annual subscription. And when I had the similar data for free with the Fitbit. And when an Apple Watch is worth a gazillion dollars, I don't want to have to buy a annual subscription app to see my data. That's where I'm at right now. I may be wrong. You could convince me otherwise, but that's where I'm at right now. I want the data at my fingertips for not much money, not much more money than I've already spent on this device. Now, there are a lot of luxuries that come with having the Apple Watch. When I'm walking outside, it detects that I'm walking outside about 10 to 15 minutes in, and then it'll ask me if I want to track the outdoor walking, and it'll make a map of where I'm going. I see phone notifications, and it helps me process things like emails that come in. I can just quickly delete them or do a quick response instead of having to look at those later. I also like the gentle way it dings in the morning. Whenever I'm about to wake up, I honestly, when I hear it, I think it's some gentle alarm. Ding, ding. It's really just emails coming into my watch, but I like the way it sounds. I like being woken up that way. If I use my phone alarm, I haven't found a sound I like on my phone. It's just the most annoying sound. So I like the ding. I love being woken up that way. Or a gentle little bzzz. I don't mind that either. With my Apple Watch, I can answer or decline calls. I can read and respond to text messages. I can use voice dictation to type. There's a little keyboard I can type on. My giant fingers can type on somehow, some way. Sometimes it takes me longer. What I really like that I can take a group photo with my phone and use my watch to click to take the photo. So I can set up my phone way in front of the group and not have to set up a timer on my phone because I can just click on my watch. I think that's incredible. I also like that I can use my watch to set a timer quickly. It's a nice little convenience. And when I wake up, I know what's the high and the low in the weather for the day. I actually really love that. Here's what I dislike. I dislike the circles in the fitness app. I'm fine with the move and the exercise rings, but I do not like the stand ring. I am standing and getting up more, and if you're in a Zoom call with me, you may notice at 50 minutes to the hour, I turn off my video, and that's because I am walking around my office to hit my stand ring. I wish I could change that circle though. I wish I could customize these circles. If I'm honest, I hate the stand ring, and probably part of it is because of the deception of you're not standing. You don't close the ring until you actually move around for a full minute. That is not standing to me. I know it's good for you, but I wouldn't choose it. And I don't like the lack of customization with the rings. And I know I'm not the only one. Outside of the internal features of the watch, it is extremely heavy. I mean, you really feel the weight of this thing, especially compared to my Fitbit. That said, it doesn't bother me. It's fine. It does a lot, so it's okay that it's a bulky piece of a thing. The Fitbit I can charge every 4 days. The Apple Watch I have to charge every day, which is a challenge for me because I like to sleep in it. I want to get that sleep data. So what I was doing when I got the watch is in the morning when I'm at my desk, I just charge it and it's fine. The problem was on the weekend because I'm not always sitting at my desk on a Saturday or Sunday morning necessarily, so I would forget to charge it. So I'm having to incorporate that into my habits, my routine. When am I going to charge this thing? Because I want it on all the time. I don't want to take it off. But I understand, hey, it's doing a lot of things, extremely way more things than the Fitbit. So of course it would need more of a regular charge. That's fine. I do think the watch is a status symbol. I really think that's why a lot of people get it. It makes life easier, especially when you have a phone and it's an extension of your iPhone. I still haven't tapped into the power of the data in a way that works for me for what I'm looking for, but I know over time I'll figure it out. So these are simply my observations from wearing the Apple Watch for about 2 weeks. Here are my conclusions. Number one, it is absolutely not a replacement for the Fitbit. They are apples to oranges. They're just two different kinds of devices. They do different things with lots of overlap. The Apple Watch is a wonderful luxury item with many conveniences, and it saves you from having to pick up your phone to see notifications. You just flip your wrist and doot, 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 and you do stuff. And that's nice. That's going to be really valuable to a lot of people. I know it has detailed health data, and I'm looking forward to using that somehow. And I'm pretty sure it'll have to be through an app. So to be continued on that. So thanks for watching my apples versus oranges, Apple Watch versus Fitbit comparison, a very early on comparison. I know I'm going to discover more. I'd love to hear what your experiences have been with the Apple Watch. There's probably a lot more power to unlock within it. I will just say overall, man, the price tag for what I've gotten so far, I'm waiting for a little bit more usage out of this thing.